right, Robert Abreu, FightHype.com here with MMA legend Pat Miletich. Pat, how are you doing?
Great, thank you.
Talk about what you're doing here for WAMMA and what the next steps for WAMMA are going to be.
Well, obviously WAMMA had the first title belt up for grabs on July 19th between Tim Sylvia and Fedor Emelianenko. Fedor is now the undisputed heavyweight world champion wearing the WAMMA belt. We're very excited about that. He's excited about it. We're excited to be working with Affliction, Adrenaline, Strikeforce, Elite XC, all these guys that have great fighters. We're looking forward to matching up people from their organizations for that true undisputed world title belt. And like I tell people, organizational belts are great, but as a fighter, you want to know if you're the #1 guy on the planet. You've got to be able to, you've got to be allowed to be able to fight people from other organizations that are ranked, at the top of the world with you. And right now, if we have all the organizations with title belts, it's like a bunch of little fish tanks with goldfish in it. When you put all those tanks together in one big tank, then you got sharks swimming around you. You create better fighters. The competition gets tougher. The fans get better fights, and the promoters get huge shows. Mega shows.
Talk about how everyone will benefit. I mean, we'll get the fights we want to see at the right time, so the fans are going to get to see these great matchups. And like you said, the promoters are going to be bringing in bigger money, and the fighters themselves are going to be getting paid more.
Fighters need to be able to sign deals for the biggest fights. They need to be able to make them happen for the most money, for the endorsement deals for the athletes. The fans get to see the best fighters on the planet go against each other. You don't have to wait until they're both out of their primes and their contracts run out. That's ridiculous to have to do that. And, as a fighter, when I held the UFC title belt for almost 4 years, there were guys out there I wanted to fight that I couldn't fight.
A good example would be Chuck and Vanderlei. Yeah, they finally did get to fight, and it was a great fight. But the fight, we should have already seen the trilogy between those two guys.
Absolutely. It should have been the Hagler, Leonard, Duran, all those types of fights. I remember watching when I was younger, the mega fights, their names were on the marquee. It wasn't about the belt or the organization. It was about really just being the #1 badass on the planet.
Right on. Now, there's always been rumors of you coming back to fight. Are you officially retired, or are you still looking to maybe get one in?
No, my neck feels great. I'm actually physically better than I was 4 or 5 years ago, finally. I'm going to have one more procedure done on my neck and get it completely fixed with a laser, and then I'm brand new. I feel great, and I'm actually probably stronger than I've ever been, which is kind of nice.
Well, that's good to hear, man. And talk about all your guys. I mean, you had a disappointing night at the Affliction show. Roswell and Sylvia lost. Talk about how those two performances.
Well, Tim just flat out didn't get a chance to start, which you got to hand that to Fedor. Fedor came out and went crazy right off the bat. The guy's amazing. Ben, 25 years old, very young. Andre has been in those huge fights 6 or 7 times, been in front of the crowds, been in the eye of the storm, and he's lost some of those, and he's won some of them and learned. He's an older fighter, and that's the position that Ben was put in the eye of the storm, first time in front of a massive crowd with a lot of pressure. But, it was a great learning experience. And watching guys that you care about that have been with you for years, it's very tough for me. I would much rather be the guy fighting. It's so much easier. But that same night in Las Vegas, Rory Markham scored a head kick knockout, which was a wicked knockout. And so, a little sugar in the salt there for us. So it was nice to see Rory pull out a win.
You win some, you lose some. Last question for you, Pat. The IFL, what's the future with them? Are they done? How disappointing is it that the league really couldn't get off its feet and truly succeed?
Well, that the IFL happening, everything happens for a reason. And the IFL coming about and going through that phase, it's all part of the process of just eventually legitimizing the sport for all the fighters, no matter what organization they're in. Part of the process, God's got a plan. We're just along for the ride, so we're doing our best.
All right, MMA legend Pat Miletich, thank you for the time. Wish you, WAMMA, the best of luck in the future.
Thank you.